All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whichever time zone you're listening in. This is Jason.
And David.
And we're your hosts for Paranormal 411. What do you think? First video.
Hey, loving it. Hey, if you're looking to find us, you can do that on paranormal411.org. You also find us at Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We're also on all of your favorite podcast platforms.
Oh, yeah.
Join us. Join us.
Tonight, we do not have a guest.
Yeah, they kind of...
They canceled on us.
Yeah.
Been sick all day, so we thought we'd throw this little thing out.
Yep. We figured we wouldn't, totally...
Wasn't going to waste a nice Saturday night.
Right.
I think the Super Bowl may be on.
We're competing with the Super Bowl. We're going to lose already.
We're going to talk a little bit tonight about, just for a short time, the Bermuda Triangle. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a very fascinating subject. It's actually got a little bit to do with the book that we're in the middle of writing.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
So I see Michelle is in on the YouTube, and she likes to set up.
Woo, what's up?
This is our first live video.
Yeah, so we are not only live on our Paranormal 411, but we're also doing Facebook and YouTube live.
Oh, yeah. So, if we get a little crazy, it's just because we're new at this.
We got to get used to looking at everybody and saying hi and, eye contact. We're not used to this yet. So, please give us time.
Hey, before we go to our short little break, and David's going to do his little spiel.
Yes.
If I can remember what it is, can you see my paper, everybody I'm looking at? No. What was it called, David?
What, our book?
No, the thing you do.
Oh, Tuned In.
Yes, before we do that, it's time for Tuned In with David Reagan.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jason.
Sorry about that. I just got so many things going here.
If you can see the new setup, we're getting more and more and more. So on our show, we've been talking about the laws of attraction. You can go onto our Facebook and our website, where I will post these afterwards, and so you could read them there. So definitely join us.
Yes.
So tonight we will be talking about nature abhors a vacuum. So this law of attraction suggests that by removing negative things from your life, it can make space for more positive things to take their place. So it is based on the notion that it is impossible to have a completely empty space in your mind and in your life, since something will always fill this space. So it is important to fill this space with positivity. So now the Latin term horror vaci, hopefully I said that right, but I don't speak Latin, so but it is cited by scholars, especially in physics, or alternatively Platonism, which is commonly stated as nature abhors a vacuum. So according to the scholarship, including online encyclopedias, this is a postulate attributed to Aristotle, the Greek philosopher from 300 BC. He articulated a belief that nature contains no vacuums because the denser surrounding material would immediately fill the rarity of an incipient void. He also argued against the void in a more abstract sense. For example, by that definition, a void itself is nothing, and nothing cannot rightly be said to exist. Furthermore, it would be featureless and it could neither be encountered by the senses, nor could its supposition lead additional explanatory power. Blah. That was a mouthful right there. So, let's not just try to remove the bad things out of our thoughts, right? And because if you do that, then you have to have something that backs that up, right, to fill that void. So we need to remove a way of thinking. We need to immediately fill that void with positive thoughts. That way the negative thoughts will not have a place to inhabit.
Ooh.
What do you think? Did I go too deep? I don't think so.
No, it even I can understand that.
So I have a couple of quotes here. One is actually two of them are actually by Henry Thoreau, and one is by Frank Lloyd Wright. Nature abhors a vacuum, and if I could only walk with sufficient carelessness, I am sure to be filled. And that is Henry Thoreau. Most are engaged in businesses the greater part of their lives because the soul abhors a vacuum, and they have not discovered any continuous employment for man's nobler faculties. That is another Henry Thoreau. And then a Frank Lloyd Wright says, nature is my manifestation of God. I go to nature every day for inspiration into the day's work. I follow in building the principles which nature has used in its dominion.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. But remember, everybody, when nature abhors a vacuum, meaning if you want to take those negative things out of your life, you have to fill those back up with something, right? Might as well be, positivity and positive thoughts. So make sure that that's what you do,
Yeah.
Don't leave the vacuum, because it will be taken up by something other than what you're trying to put in there. All right, Jason.
All right.
I talked for the last 30 minutes.
That was David Reagan.
Thank you. So,
like I said, we're going to be talking about the Bermuda Triangle. Just a couple of things, a couple of stories. I don't know.
Yeah, we figured we'd try to take up about an hour, maybe, since this is very unscheduled.
Yeah, this is off the hip.
Yes. Remember, we are live on Spreaker, Podbean, but we also are live on YouTube and Facebook.
Oh, yeah,
Live.
the video.
Hey, everybody, we're doing video. If this catches on, then we may end up figuring out how to move the video to our website itself. So stay tuned. Remember, we do have a book out. It's called East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore. It is a great coffee table book. You can find that on Amazon. Jason and I wrote that this last year, didn't we, Jason?
Yes.
So it is a really cool book. So definitely look it up. And you're listening to Jason Scott, David Reagan. We'll be back right after this quick break.
This is Jeff Reagan of the band Catalyst. Visit Paranormal 411. Click on our link on the right-hand side to listen to or purchase any of our albums on BandLab.
Hey, this is Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizzeria in Madisonville, Tennessee. Cool little pizza shop with a paranormal encrypted theme. Just voted best pizza in Monroe County. Follow us on Facebook at Legends and Lore Pizzeria to get the latest updates and hours, specials, and new menu items.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal 411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join us.
Hey, this is Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizzeria, and I listen to Paranormal 401. Love y'all and keep it squatchy.
In a world on the edge of oblivion, go to paranormal411.org for all of your paranormal, extraterrestrial, and cryptid needs.
All right. That's a nice quick little break.
It is. Got to thank Jeff Reagan, Band Catalyst, for
Oh yeah.
allowing us to play their music.
Jeff's in the Facebook chat. If you want to talk to him.
What's up, everybody? We got people in Facebook chat. We've got people in YouTube chat. We've got Sherry over here in the Paranormal 411 live chat room.
Hey Sherry, we're on YouTube Live and Facebook Live too with a video. We're going to be doing video.
Yeah. Hey Sherry, would you like to do video next week?
It's even got live caption down here.
Nice. So remember, we are live on Spreaker, Podbean, and like we just said, Facebook and YouTube. Tonight, Jason and I are going to be talking a little bit about the Bermuda Triangle, right, Jason?
Oh yeah.
So,
I've been through there.
have you?
I'm sure. Have you?
I think. Yeah, I think so. When we went on one of our cruises, we have been through the Bermuda Triangle.
Nothing happened.
No, I'm still here.
Yep.
Or am I?
No methane gas bubbles or freakish waves took
No.
us out.
Nope. But we did get to see dolphins on one of those cruises. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So when you think of the Bermuda Triangle, what do you think about?
Man, a lot of things.
Which story?
Flight 19. That's one of the first things that just right in my head. Flight 19. What about you?
I really, when I think about it, I just see no particular name,
No.
just ships
Yeah.
going down.
Planes, ships.
Yeah, maybe a little swirly hole. You know, I like the dimensional thing.
Hey, well, there's some stories about stuff like that too, because you have the story of that one guy that was flying in Florida, and I think it was in the 80s or something.
Yeah,
And he talked about that vortex that opened up, and he made a flight that normally took him over an hour or something. He made it in less than 30 minutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of freaky. He called it electric fog. I remember that.
Yeah, he hit that fog.
Yeah, that was pretty fantastic.
You know, for a long time, it's this triangle. There's a lot more different triangles than just the Bermuda Triangle.
Yes, Alaskan Triangle. There's triangles.
Was it Michigan or?
Yeah, the Michigan, I think, triangle.
Something like that.
Yeah, we've got quite a few. I think there's even one over by Japan.
Yeah. Devil's Triangle.
Devil's Triangle, yeah. So I think there's quite a few in this world. What are they trying to say with those? Are they vortices of some sort? Like you said, dimensional portals or time
The
travel
ley
devices?
lines, that's where the magnetic field is strongest and on the ley lines.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, I don't know.
Like I said, that's the book we're writing. This has some stuff to do with that. So, but stay tuned.
Yeah, where's your button?
My butt's gone. There.
So, if anybody wants to tell us how the audio is sounding, we've had a lot of trouble with the audio. And if you want to say, hey, it sounds good, you can. Or, hey, it sounds bad. You can. And we'll fix it.
We'll try to fix it. Like I said, this is our maiden voyage with the camera.
And we're headed to the Bermuda Triangle, Captain.
Boy, isn't that a place to go? Isn't that what happened to the SS Minnow?
No, that was
Minnows
Hawaii.
would be lost.
Bermuda is a long stretch of sea. And some believe that even William Shakespeare's play, The Tempest, is based on tales from the Bermuda Triangle.
Okay.
And it's sorcery and all kinds of stuff and that.
Huh. I did not know that.
So you was talking about Flight 19.
Yes.
You want to tell us about that?
Well, Flight 19 was in 1945. There were 5 Avenger torpedo bombers that took off from a naval base in Florida, and they were going over the Atlantic just to do a training mission. Is what they was on. And during this mission, they started having some troubles. They kind of thought that they went off course, and so they started trying to fly by, looking down for specific landmark sites and stuff like that. And they started radioing back. And for some reason, their compasses were spinning, and they were having all kinds of technical difficulties and stuff. But the thing is that the guy that having a bit of crackling.
Correct.
Yeah, crackling and
We'll
echoes on Facebook.
Let's see what we can do.
I wonder if
Yeah, maybe.
I thought we had this
might
one
be
turned
that.
off before.
Maybe
That might be
that might be it.
where the echo's coming from.
See what that sounds like when you come back, Jeff.
Yeah. Now where was I? Anyway, they had lost their way, and the thing is that the guy that was leading, the flight, the instructor, had made this run a ton of times, tons and tons and tons of times, and all of a sudden, both Facebook and YouTube, it says.
We'll fix it.
The distortion echo thing going on.
I might have fixed it when I done this, so.
Yeah, maybe. So, they made a few calls back and forth, and then it went silent, just whoop, silent. So they sent up a spotter plane, I think with a crew of 7, and to go look for them, to go look for the wreckage or anything. And same thing happened to them. They started having troubles, and they just went gone. It was one of the largest naval search and rescue missions that went on after that, and they didn't find as much as, a life vest floating anywhere. They didn't find anything of these people.
Yeah.
Not a plane, not a piece of wreckage, nothing. Just disappeared. Not only the Avengers, but also the spotter plane that was sent after them. And to me, that's pretty fascinating, because you're going to find some kind of wreckage is going to be floating. And for, the guy that's sitting there doing this training mission, taking these guys out on this training mission, and he's done this, like I said, hundreds of times, to lose his way, to not know where he's at, not be able to find a landmark that he could see or anything. I don't know. I just, I find it really fascinating because of the fact that, how does that many planes and those many people just disappear? Just disappear, just poof, gone.
Well, the scientists tell us that it could be methane gas.
Okay, but there would
weather changes.
Still be wreckage.
Shallow waters. What? Looks like you'd find the wreckage if it was shallow.
Right, and have you ever looked at the waters there when everything's good and calm and it's beautiful down through there?
Mm-hmm.
You can see all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, you could see Atlantis.
Yeah. You can see Bimini Road, can't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's funny to me too, right? If there's a wreckage, you would have seen it. And that's why that story is actually pretty prominent in the book we're writing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty prominent part of that book, because I think it starts to prove something.
What?
Like you said, time travel, alternate dimensions, a little bit of everything. I don't know. It definitely proves to me that all that could go on and you can't find the dang things.
Yeah.
They have ships that show up sometimes with no crew on. No crew, no passengers, no nothing. Last entry of the logs.
Even when Christopher Columbus went through there, he recorded down in his little log that he recorded that a bursting flame of fire struck the sea and caused a strange light to appear in the distance.
He also had quite a few of other things that he talks about in there that's pretty fascinating too, like lights under the ocean.
Yeah.
Coming up, USOs, coming up out of the ocean and then taking off into the night sky.
Could be an alien base. Wave at everybody.
Hey, buddy. I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, there's something funny going on there, but like I said, I've been through it and nothing happened. They didn't want a cruise ship, I don't guess.
I know Michelle and I have taken, I think it's 3 cruises through there, and everything was good. So,
Do you think
what else do you have?
Michelle said she'd love to go to the Bermuda Triangle. No, I think she wants to go to Bermuda.
Oh, Bermuda. Yeah, there we go. Bermuda, Bahama.
Ooh, come on, pretty mama.
Right. Yeah. What she doesn't realize is that we've been through it on all 3 cruises we was on. So we've already been there. Everybody that leaves off the East Coast pretty much goes through Bermuda.
Yeah. If you're going to the Caribbean.
Yep. Been to the Caribbean. Didn't
So,
see no Pirates of the Caribbean while I was there.
do you think that these places connect, like the Bermuda Triangle to the one in Japan, the Devil's Triangle? You think if, like, maybe they don't connect in the same time? You know what I'm talking about? Like maybe they connect
Yep.
in the past or future, but
I
not
do.
in the same timeline.
I do. You know, and if you really think about time, they say that time, you know, we only perceive time linear, but it's actually happening past, present, future all at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you think in the way you was just talking about, then yeah, if something could be here, it could also be here past, present, future at the same time. So if something does open, it could.
That could be where you get the natives drawing airplanes and and things like that, which is also a big part of the new book.
It is, you know, the Quimbaya artifacts out of South America. You know, you'll see on Ancient Aliens, George Tsoukalos talks about it a lot. The fighter jet, little gold, they call them the gold flyers. You know, I think that these are, as they say on the Ancient Alien series, that these are things that were seen by those people, recreated, right? They just saw it and they made it. And I think that, with that being said, do you think maybe it's just them being able to perceive into it and nothing's ever come out of it? Or do you think that things have actually come out into those other times?
Oh, I think they've come out.
Yeah. I'm with you. That again is where the new book's going. So, yeah, I think that, you know, when it comes down to it, these may very well be, like Jason was saying a little bit ago, you know, on these ley lines and on these, you know, natural centers of the earth that have all this power. And science says that anytime we can conceive of something, mathematically, we could say that, yeah, we could, you know, we can't do it now, but mathematically this can be done. Nature could do it on its own. It doesn't need man to do it. So, I do think that these time slips do happen. You know, there's a lot of stories about time slips, about people walking along a street and in some place, and then all of a sudden you have people around you that are dressed in the 20s or 30s, or you walk into this abandoned place and all of a sudden you go inside and there's people at this bar drinking and everything, and then you walk back out and then you realize the place is It's a ghost town.
Yeah.
You know, there's tons of stories of things like that. So I think that time slips happen. You know, where maybe I don't know. I couldn't tell you what the technical term to it would be, but where something happened and one time touched another time, and you just happened to be there to be able to glimpse it and maybe even take part of it.
Yep.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
What happens if you didn't get back before it closed? Would you be stuck there? Just stuck in whatever time that was?
Yeah.
Could you
The
imagine
dress would disappear.
Land of
The
the Lost.
carriage was gone.
Land of the Lost.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
The Slee Stacks.
Yes. Forgive me for a second. I'm gonna look over here and get ready for the next break.
Oh, we gonna take another break?
Yeah, we might as well.
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
So the Bermuda Triangle. There's been a lot of reported planes missing coming up from the Caribbean. Like I got one here in 1984. No, not 1984. In 1978, an experienced pilot named Irving Rivers departed from the U.S. Virgin Islands on a solo flight to pick up passengers in St. Thomas. The weather was good. He was just 1 mile from landing when his signal light suddenly disappeared from the radar. Like just vanished.
Really?
Yeah. They never found a plane, nothing. Pretty weird, right?
It is.
Even no mayday call. I mean, if it was going down, he a mile away from landing, he should have had a pretty good mayday going out.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, if he wasn't knocked out or something going on, wow. Robert says that he's heard of people having time slips on Gay Street here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now that would be something. I would love to hear some of those stories.
Yeah, that's wild right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that would be pretty fantastic. Time slips.
You know, it could happen and you wouldn't even know it really.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be for a few seconds.
Yeah. And that's usually what it is. It seems like it's when it happens to most people and in most stories, it's a few seconds to a few minutes that it happens. And in some cases, they actually get to take part in what's going on. You know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat. Huh. I'd love to hear some people tell some stories about that. We're going to have to put that out. Story time.
Story time.
Well, you want to go to a quick break and come back? Or
Yeah, let's take a
tell
quick
a couple
break.
more stories.
Let's take a quick break and then we'll tell a couple more.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I was reading Sherry over here in the other chat room. Sorry, everybody.
Oh yeah, Sherry Perry. She's in. We got like 3-4 chat rooms going.
We do. Remember, everybody, we are live on Spreaker, Podbean. We are also live on Facebook and on YouTube. I was going to say Twitter. We do have a book out. It's called East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore. It is a great little coffee table book. Definitely check it out. And tonight, Jason and I, our guest wasn't feeling good, so he had to bail on us. So we'll look at maybe setting that back up at some point. And so we will be back here in just a few minutes and talk to you some more about the Bermuda Triangle. Right, Jason?
Yeah.
Maybe even get into some time slips. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, Robert also said that there's a book out called Haunted Knoxville. that has a story in it.
Well, I'm definitely going to look that book up, Robert, because that's fascinating. I like time slip stories.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. We'll be back right after this quick break.
In a world on the edge of oblivion, go to paranormal411.org for all of your paranormal, extraterrestrial, and cryptid needs.
Hey, this is Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizzeria, and I listen to Paranormal 411. Love y'all and keep it squatchy.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal 411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join us.
Hey, this is Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizzeria in Madisonville, Tennessee. Cool little pizza shop with a paranormal and cryptid theme. Just voted best pizza in Monroe County. Follow us on Facebook at Legends and Lore Pizzeria to get the latest updates and hours, specials, and new menu items.
This is Jeff Reagan of the band Catalyst. Visit Paranormal 411. Click on our link on the right-hand side to listen to or purchase any of our albums on BandLab.
Hey, we're back.
Woo! Just got into that stormy weather.
You've been listening to Metallica. Oh, I mean, Catalyst.
Want to thank Catalyst for allowing us to use their music. And oh, stormy weather. I figured I'd do that because, hey, we talk about the Bermuda Triangle.
Bermuda.
Do some stormy weather. So.
Yeah, you kind of short in that chair. You have to change chairs.
That's what my wife said. My wife's like,
Straighten that back up.
you look like a midget. I'm like, we're in the exact same chair.
I'm just all buffed over here.
Yeah.
What's up, little man? What's up, little man?
What's up? Yeah,
Actually, David's probably a little taller than me.
yeah, my wife's like, I think his upper body is taller than yours or something. I'll get the other chair.
The faces that only a mother could love.
That's it. That's why I said, radio. Radio is good, right?
Now we're on TV.
I
Okay,
know.
we're back.
Next.
So you got any time slip stories over there, David?
Yeah, let's see. I figured, we started talking about some time slips, so might as well throw some of that in there, right?
Yeah.
Let me see here. I just pulled something up, so forgive me.
So do you think it might be aliens? Activity?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Possibly. I mean, it's like when we talk about Bigfoot, right? When we talk about the possibilities and the woo and everything else, to discount something is throwing out evidence. And to
Right.
throw out evidence means that you're not taking everything into consideration.
Right.
And just because you've drawn a conclusion of what you believe it is, doesn't always mean that that's right. And so, yeah, I reserve the right to say I don't know what it is, but I'm willing to go down any avenue to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Any avenue. I don't see why not. I'm trying to find something, but the one I just looked at, it wasn't very good. So maybe you'll tell the story, Jason, and then I'll find a story. How's that?
Okay.
Because
No echo. Looks good. Sounds good. Thank you, Jeff. We had two microphones going at once.
yes.
So
Yeah.
I'll tell another little story here. In 1963,
Hey,
the
everybody.
SS Marine
I thought you were going to say SS Minnow.
Sulphur Queen, a large tanker ship carrying 39 passengers
Oh, 39.
and molten sulfur,
I think I remember this story.
was last seen near the southern coast of Florida. And after more than 2 weeks of looking,
Mm-hmm.
this is a pretty good sized ship, right?
Yes.
After 2 weeks of looking, they just found a piece or two of debris and a couple of life preservers. No ship. It's gone.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Huh.
I don't know. They found 2 life preservers and a foghorn.
And a foghorn.
Yep. So maybe the aliens obliterated it.
They're like. So I found some. So we have a wing commander that enters a parallel dimension during a flight.
Mm.
What do you think about that? So one day in 1935, Victor Goddard, who was a commander from British Royal Air Force, and he was flying to Edinburgh During the flight, he passed over a discreet airfield in Durham, Scotland. Now, all that Goddard saw from above was a lonely farm and some cattle. Now, a few days later, on his way back to England, he took the same route. However, his plane was caught in a storm, and with all the whirling and swinging going on, the pilot got so disoriented that he lost control of the machine for some minutes. Now, fortunately, the storm ended as unexpectedly as it started. He regained control and was hoping to be able to get the plane back on the right track by following some familiar landmarks on the ground. Now, he looked down expecting to see the Durham airfield as he sensed he was approaching it. But what he saw left him flabbergasted. That's one of those technical terms, flabbergasted. So the airfield was renovated. It had 4 brand new planes painted yellow, and they sat on the runway. There was some mechanics in blue overalls that were attending to them. Now, all of a sudden, the storm hit again, and clouds swooped back down, and he got lucky one more time and gained control and managed to land safely at his home base. Now, his friends were actually very skeptical about this incredible story, but 40 years later, convinced he was right about what he saw, he told the story in detail in a book which was published under the title Flight Towards Reality. Pretty neat, huh?
Yeah.
And so that's all about. That was one whole thing. There's one on Soldier. Oh, we know this one. We've told this story. We actually tried to get someone on from this site to come on to our I'm getting pictures. I'm sorry, people. I'm sitting here looking at phones and messages and stuff, and I shouldn't be doing that. This one's about John Teeter.
John Teeter. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how this is because that's just a time travel. That's not a time slip. So we've talked about that one before. Oh, and then the chronovisor.
Tony Moreno on Facebook says he is the world's leading authority on paranormal.
David and Jason, I'm the world's leading authority on paranormal.
What do you think about this Bermuda Triangle deal?
So,
yeah.
And what type of paranormal? All paranormal? We like talking paranormal. That's what we do. We've talked about the chronovisor before.
Oh, yeah, the chronovisor.
Yeah.
Not coronavirus, chronovisor.
Visor, yes. There's a Benedictine monk that invented a chronovisor, and he said that he was able to witness Christ's crucifixion with it. It's a pretty cool story. So there's a businessman who took a highway into the 1940s. So in 1988, Strange Magazine published a story which they claimed was based on a true event that took place on October 20th, 1969. So 2 business associates were traveling from a small town in Louisiana towards Lafayette along the almost traffic-free Highway 167. Now, at some point, they noticed a retro-looking turtleback type of car heading or ahead of them, which had a license plate with the year 1940 on it. What they observed when they shortened the distance between the cars was that the woman behind the wheel was also dressed in 40s style clothing. Driving alongside the vintage car, they could see where there was a small girl in the passenger seat next to her, and the woman had an expression of panic written on her face. They gestured at her to pull over so they could help her. She nodded approvingly and began the maneuver. The 2 businessmen passed slowly by her, But when they halted on the side of the road and turned to look at the other vehicle, it was not there.
Mm.
So the car with the scared woman and child had simply just vanished into thin air. And the story has even more mysterious twist in the ending. So some newspapers from the 40s reported a bizarre disappearance of a mother and her kid. So what if they're still wandering out there in time warps, hopping around in time?
Could be. You know, Robert brought up a good one. Pan Am Flight 914.
Yeah.
And it could still be going on out there too.
Just like this, right? I mean,
Right.
Pan Am Flight 914 is it's another one that's up there with the first one that I mentioned. You know, that this is one right here that's, I don't know, it's pretty fantastic. You want to tell the story? Tell the story.
Well, the airliner took off from New York, 1955, but guess where it landed?
Where?
Venezuela in 1985.
Nice.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy. Or was it 1993
I thought it was new.
or 92?
Yeah, 92.
Yeah.
85 to
55.
and landed in Venezuela in 85.
It was like 30 something years.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, it was a Douglas DC-4. It had 37 passengers and 6 crew members. And it took off from New York and headed for Miami. And it was in 1955. The flight was scheduled to just last a couple of hours, but it never arrived in Miami. Instead, it showed up unannounced and invisible to radar. It was a ghost ship. It was phasing in and out, right?
Yes.
Invisible to radar on March 9th, 1985. So, voicing his concerns to the tower, the pilot, after a textbook landing, taxied toward the gate, and ground handlers could see the faces of the screaming passengers pressed up against their, their windows.
Yeah.
Well, that would be wild, though. The pilot then dropped a small calendar out the window before he made a hasty turn back to the runway, where he took off and disappeared as suddenly as he had arrived. And the calendar did he drop it accidentally, or does it hold a secret to what had happened? We don't know, right? So 1955 to 1985, 30 years. And it could still be out there.
So what really did happen to Flight 914?
We may never know.
That's crazy. I've got one here for the Moberly Jordan incident. Have you ever heard of that? So 2 female academics claim that they saw Marie Antoinette alive in 1901. What do you think about that? That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I think that's crazy. But so on a hot day in 1901, 2 Oxford professors and close friends on vacation in Paris, Anne Moberly and Eleanor Jordan, decided to explore the fullest of the area around the Petit Trian, a small chateau located on the grounds of the Palace of Versailles. It was exactly there they experienced something that today we would call a time slip. So, however, the 2 ladies, they kind of got lost, and soon after they began observing things that were out of place. Now, later on, Jordan would write in her journal, everything suddenly looked unnatural. Therefore, it was unpleasant. Even the trees seemed to become flat and lifeless. The other woman recounted that after they crossed a bridge and reached gardens in front of the palace, they came across a lady who was sitting on the grass sketching. She was dressed in an old-fashioned summer dress, and they thought she very much resembled Marie Antoinette, as seen in portraits. They also encountered a man they believed was... I ain't even going to try it. I do not speak French. We wonder if Moberly and Jordan did not experience an actual time slip. Yeah, that's a time slip. And that's what you're used to hearing, right? Those kinds of things. Mm-hmm. It's just a quick thing that happens, and like the one says, everything looked unnatural. The trees and everything became flat and lifeless looking. So it's almost like they was watching a movie. That's kind of cool, really. Jason, let's go on some scavenger hunts and try to find some of these things.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? No, what'd be cool is if that you got video of it. Mm-hmm. Today we live in a world where we carry video recorders and stuff with us at all times. I mean, could you imagine being walking and video conferencing with someone or something, and then something like that happens?
Yeah,
that'd be cool. I'm just saying, that'd be cool. You got another one?
Well, let's see here. I might can find one real quick.
I have one that's pretty cool, and I've heard this one before. And I think this is more than just a time slip. I think this is what we was talking about a minute ago, and maybe he went from one timeline to another timeline. That's kind of similar, but not. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because this one is a man that claims he comes from a country that no one has ever heard of. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
So, going back and forth in time and space may seem a fun activity, right? I don't know. I haven't got to do it yet. So what if suddenly you found yourself in a situation where you're facing a official at an airport who refuses to believe that you're coming from Germany because, to his knowledge, no such country ever existed? Well, something similar to this happened in 1954. Now, seemingly, an ordinary man just landed at the Tokyo International Airport. When he handed his passport to be stamped, he was almost immediately detained for interrogation. Now, the problem appeared to be that the passport had been issued in a country that no one has ever heard of. Torrid.
Oh, yeah. Of the man from Torrid. Yeah.
Torrid, yes. So when asked where his country was located on the map, the passenger, without any hesitation, pointed at Andorra. However, he said he knew nothing about Andorra, but claimed that his own country had existed for 1,000 years. He further insisted to be informed why the heck he had been questioned like a criminal when he'd been coming to Japan on regular business trips for the last 5 years. Now, the immigration authorities sent the passenger to the nearest hotel until the problem was resolved. Now, although 2 officials were guarding at the door and the room itself was on the 15th floor, the man somehow disappeared without a trace. Now, that would be one heck of a time slip.
Yeah.
But what's cool about that is that there's a record of it. You know?
Yeah. Got Chris Wilson over here in the Podbean chat.
What's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy?
Thank you for all the information you've been sending.
I can't read it. It's way too far. One of these days, we'll take everybody for a tour of the bunker.
Robert He said, could time slips account for haunted battlefields?
I think you are. I think that you're right on that, Robert, because I think that time slips happen a lot. There's been even movies along that line where, and I don't remember the name of the movie now. Dang it. But it was a woman and her two kids in a home, and it was a haunted house supposedly, right? And so you see it from this perspective. And the little girl, I think, was allergic to light or something. She couldn't get into a lot of light or something. I forgot what it was, but then you look at it as further the movie went on. In the future, they would see them in the house.
Yeah.
So it was almost this time slip, Robert, in this movie, of course, but where they were showing that maybe the past and the present could sometimes interact with each other. And so on battlefields, I think places that had a lot of, hurt and anguish and all this energy and all these things that go on in these kinds of places, I think that definitely could. And I think that we had a guest on the show, as a matter of fact, talk to us about some of the hauntings and some of the things that he had been involved with. And one of them, he actually has a video of it too. You see this spirit go down like these steps and go through where a door used to be. Maybe it wasn't a door, but it was something. And he postulates that what it was that it's another time, because I think there used to be a door there and it was going still through that door. And maybe that, he was getting to see something happen in that time. And he said what makes him think that too is that he or someone else had just stepped out, and it was almost like they scared it and it ran from them. So I think that, that's it. Susan. Thank you, Susan. The Others. That is such a good movie. I would recommend anybody who likes those kind of movies, definitely watch that. The Others. Yes. I might have to watch that tonight before I go to bed.
The Others?
The Others. Yes, it's good. It's a good movie. And that's what it's based on, is like the past and the present kind of getting to interact with each other. You think it's a scary movie, but then you realize it's really not. So yeah, it's kind of one of these time slip type things. But yeah, Robert, I think, I really think that is a very big possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I wouldn't see why it wouldn't be. Like we was talking about earlier, time is really, we perceive it as linear, but it's happening all at the same time. So I think so. It is a good movie, isn't it, Susan? Yeah, I like it. You haven't seen the movie, Jason?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, you're missing out. Because Susan, it's not listed as a horror movie, is it? It's more like a suspense thriller type movie, isn't it? It's a really suspenseful type movie, but it's good. I would definitely 110% say watch it. Watch it. Yeah. So that was The Man from Torrid.
The Man from Torrid.
Yeah. There's a British tourist who stayed in a non-existent hotel in France. Think about that. So in 1979, two British couples were driving through northern France on their way to Spain. They were looking for a place to spend the night, so eventually they drove it to a building. It kind of looked like a motel. Now, the only man standing in front of it was smoking, hurried to inform them that it was an inn. And as everything inside the inn seemed pretty old-fashioned, no phones, no other modern conveniences whatsoever, the tourist logically concluded that it had been an attraction, a themed hotel of some sort, to make people feel as if they were in the 19th century. Now, during breakfast the next morning, They were attained by two men in caped uniforms with a solemn expression on their faces. Now, after paying a ridiculously small bill of 19 francs, the couples left for Avignon. Now, after 2 weeks in Spain, they decided to follow the same route back and to stay at the same motel. Not only because it was so cheap, but also because they enjoyed the out-of-date atmosphere. Now, they were very confused because what they found in the exact spot, there was no building there.
I remember hearing this story.
Yeah, and that all the photos they took during that stay, none of them developed. Oh, there we go. We were saying we need to have video going, but maybe it wouldn't even play, right?
Yeah.
That's why you never get a clear shot of Bigfoot.
Right.
He's running between the dimensions. It's a suspense. Okay, that's what I thought it was. A suspense movie. Yes. Yeah, Robert, you'd like it. If you like those kind of, that kind of stuff, it's actually a really cool movie.
Well, you got any more?
I've got a lot more, but are you ready to call it a night?
We'll do one more.
One more?
So we went from the Bermuda Triangle to time slips.
Time slips, yeah. Well, when we got on the time slips through talking through Bermuda Triangle, because I think that could be the same thing. Some of it anyway, right?
Yeah.
I've got one right here. It's pretty cool. It's a Scottish woman. She witnesses a battle that took place in 685 AD. What do you think about that? So, on January 2nd, 1950, 55-year-old Miss E.F. Smith was attending a party in the town of Brecon. After a few cocktails, that's starting right, she got in her car and left for the village of Letham, where she lived. The driving conditions were very poor, and it was pitch dark. Didn't help that she had a couple cocktails on top of it, and started raining heavily. So with the road becoming slippery, her car ended up in a ditch. That's the cocktails.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Miss Smith was left with no other choice but to abandon her car and walk the rest of the 8 miles to her house. Now, the surreal experience began around 2 a.m. when she was still a half a mile away from the village. Now, according to her account, a group of people carrying flaming torches appeared in the distance. And a bit later, a second group emerged to her right. She then observed figures much closer to her who seemed busy bending down and checking the bodies which were lying all over the field. They'd turn over a body, and if they were not satisfied with what they saw, they would turn it back on its face and proceed to the next one. Now, at that point, Miss Smith's little dog started growling, and she hurried back home before it started to bark at the mysterious figures with torches. Now, 20 years later, a member of the Society of Physical Research showed interest in the Scottish lady's case, and after some research, he revealed to her and to the scientific society that she must have witnessed was the aftermath of the Battle of Nectanschmire.
Nectanschmire.
Yeah, and I'm, I haven't had a couple cocktails, but I think that's the way it's spelled. Which took place in the year 685 AD. And the people with the torches were soldiers walking around the field looking for their own dead. And there's another one that has a scientific background to it.
Yep.
So, but now, was that like Robert was talking about? Just them getting a glimpse of it? Or, was that her actually going there? Or could that have been straight paranormal and she's seeing like you see at some of these battlefields sometimes the ghosts marching and
Yeah. Oh no. Could be anything.
but that's pretty cool. It's still a cool story though. Really cool story.
Well,
Well,
good show.
yep. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
It would have been a different show. Like we said, though, our guest wasn't feeling good, so they had to postpone. Next week we have a great guest, though. She's over in the Paranormal 411 live chat room, Miss Sherry Perry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, next week's going to be good. She's going to tell us some great stories. I know she's got some new ones. She's got some great new stories, don't you, Sherry? So,
And that's next week.
that's next Saturday,
Yes.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Show up. We will be live on Spreaker, Podbean, but we're also going to do Facebook and YouTube live, and we're going to see if Sherry would like to do live with us.
Yeah.
She'd get the chance to be our first official guest to be live on Facebook and YouTube. So that'd be kind of cool. Think she thinks the same thing. We'll see when we talk to her, right?
Yeah.
Remember, we have a book out. It is East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore. We don't have a copy out here, so I can just kind of go, look, it's East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore. We're gonna have to do that. So I could, every time I say it, I just see this book. If you're looking to find us, you could also do that on paranormal411.org, Paranormal411 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely. We're also on all of your favorite podcast platforms.
Yes.
Join us.
And we do want to thank Catalyst.
Yes, Catalyst.
And Legends and Lore.
Yes.
Pizzeria.
Yes, because they're awesome. Awesome.
I
want to thank everybody that have been listening to us tonight and watching us live. And this is our first one of these. So, hello. I got to get used to looking at a camera and talking to people, because with it being a radio show before, we could do whatever we wanted to as long as it was talking into the mic.
Yeah, you may see something you don't want to see if we get David. What are you doing?
It's a Coca-Cola.
Root beer.
It's actually root beer, but no, and also remember, what we talked about at the beginning of the show on the laws of attraction. Remember that if you're going to get rid of negative things out of your life and out of your mind, you need to make that vacuum into positive thoughts and positive actions, because that vacuum will get pulled back in by something other than what you're wanting to try to put there. So as soon as you start trying to get rid of those awful things, you need to go ahead and start, replacing them straight up with good stuff. So just remember that. And I will be posting all of that stuff with the Tuned In with David on our Facebook page and also on Paranormal 411. You okay, Jason?
Yeah, I'm trying to read this. It's so little.
I know.
Good night. Good night, guys. Your show. Can't read that.
No, sorry. I can't read it either. But good night, everybody. And next week, like we said, we're going to have Sherry Perry on. And it's going to be a great show. She's going to tell us a lot of stories, because she always does. And that's it, right, Jason?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Everybody have a good night. We will see you.
Next week.
Okay. My TV went out. It just went gone. We'll see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sherry Michaels Perry. Come to the Facebook and also on to paranormal411.org. And all of her information's up there and everything else. So definitely check it out. Have a good night. Have a good weekend.
Good night.
See everybody next week. Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join us.